Ever wonder who keeps the water you drink clean, like even before it gets to a faucet? Well, today we're diving deep, into the world of groundwater monitoring technicians. They're like the unsung heroes of clean water. You probably picture, well, someone stuck in a lab, right? But it's way more than that, and we're going to find out how. So ready to jump in. Let's do it. So for someone guarding our water, the water underground, what's their day actually look like?
Yeah, it's not all pristine labs and stuff. I mean, picture this. One day you're out in the forest, right, collecting samples from some hidden spring, and then the next you're at like an industrial site, making sure they're not, polluting the groundwater. It's actually kind of adventurous.
Wow, that is way more um, exciting than I imagined. So we're talking field work, lab work. What else? What are the tools of the trade, so to speak?
Well, you definitely get to know things like piezometers. They measure the pressure of the groundwater. And then there are data loggers. Those track the water levels and how good the quality is over time. It's really a mix of science, like what you learn, and then detective work to, figure out what's going on down there.
It's like being like a groundwater detective. I like that. No 2 days are the same, and it's such an important resource that honestly most people take for granted. So to be good at this, what kind of person are we talking about?
Someone who loves science, for sure, but also you gotta be willing to get your hands dirty, and I mean that sometimes, literally. You need a good eye for details, too, because that data you're collecting, it can actually impact public health.
No pressure. So you got to be able to make sense of all that data too, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You need to be able to think analytically, because it's not just about collecting numbers. You're interpreting them, seeing if there's a pattern, and figuring out what it all means for the water supply. Then you have to communicate that clearly. That might mean reports, presentations. You got to get the point across.
So you need to be a good scientist, but also good at communicating. It's not just you alone in a lab then.
No, not at all. Teamwork is huge, especially for those big projects. You'll be working with other scientists, engineers, even people making policy to make sure our water is safe.
This is giving me a much better idea of what it's like. Sounds like a real chance to make a difference. But where do you start? If someone's listening and they're like, this is for me, what do they do?
Well, you won't see like groundwater superhero on a job site.
Right.
But really, a great way to start is by looking for internships or, entry-level jobs at environmental firms, maybe government agencies, those kinds of places.
Makes sense. Get some experience. That's important for any job, but especially one like this. What about for someone still in school? Can they do anything now to get a head start?
Volunteering is amazing for that. It gets you experience and you meet people in the field. You could reach out to like local environmental groups or see if there's a water quality project that needs help.
It's not just about like checking a box on your resume, right?
Right.
You get to actually do the work, see how what you're learning is used in the real world.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, you never know who you'll meet. Those connections could be your way into like an internship or even a job later on.
It's all about who you know.
hmm
Okay, so let's say you've got some experience, you've been out in the field. How do you make yourself stand out? There must be a ton of people applying for these jobs.
That's where a good portfolio comes in. Think of it as like proof of your groundwater detective skills.
I like that, yeah.
Include any fieldwork you've done, data projects, even lab reports that you're proud of.
So it's like saying, look, I've already done this.
Exactly. And even better if you, presented at a conference or maybe you got a research paper published, that shows you're really into it, not just dipping your toes.
Serious bonus points.
Hmm.
Okay, so you get the job. What's next? Can you move up in this field?
Definitely. You might start as an assistant. Learning how things work from the pros, getting familiar with all the equipment, becoming a data whiz.
So no getting stuck fetching coffee forever.
No way. As you get more experience, you get more responsibility. Maybe you'll lead field work, manage your own projects, even train the new folks.
And someday,
Yeah.
you're the one mentoring the next groundwater superhero.
Mm.
Okay, so what about the money? What can someone actually expect to make doing this?
So on average, groundwater monitoring technicians, they make around $45,000 to $60,000 each year. But that can change, depending on your experience, where you're working, and who you work for.
Makes sense. Are there like professional groups for this? Ones that can help you along the way, maybe even help you earn more?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Joining groups like the National Groundwater Association, that's NGWA, or the American Waterworks Association, or AWWA, those are super helpful.
What do those groups offer that you wouldn't get, just working a regular job?
Well, first off, you get to connect with other people in the field. You're surrounded by people who really get it. They also have, like, Conferences, workshops, stuff to keep you updated on the newest tech, new regulations. That can really help when you're job hunting or, even just asking for a raise.
It's like a built-in support system for your career.
Yeah.
Okay, switching gears a bit, our research mentioned this platform, RoleCatcher. They say it's changing how people find jobs. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I have. It's pretty interesting. It's like having a personal AI career assistant.
Okay, now you've got my attention. How does this RoleCatcher help someone who wants to, protect our groundwater?
So imagine this. It cuts through all the clutter online and finds jobs that really fit what you can do, what you know.
So you're not wasting time on those job boards that never lead anywhere.
Exactly. You put your info in and it does all the hard work.
It's like your own recruiter, but, without all the awkward chit-chat. What else can it do?
One of the coolest things is that it looks at your resume, your CV, and then tells you how well it matches the job you want.
Hold on. It's like having a secret weapon to beat those computer systems everyone hates.
Yeah, exactly. It helps you fix up your resume so it doesn't just disappear into the internet void. And get this, it even helps you get ready for interviews.
So it's like it coaches you through the whole thing. That's amazing.
Right. And it can give you practice questions, based on the job description. It even looks at your answers to see how you're doing. Like if you're clear, if you're saying the right stuff.
Wow. I mean, it's really incredible how technology is changing everything, even finding a job in environmental science. It's not just about being out in the field or in the lab anymore. You got to know how to use these digital tools too.
Totally. And speaking of technology, I'm really curious to see what they come up with next for, groundwater monitoring.
Right. What's the future hold?
Exactly. What about even better sensors or analyzing data right there in the field or even predicting problems, before they even happen?
We could prevent disasters before they start.
Exactly. It's like a really exciting time to be getting into this line of work.
I bet. Well, we've definitely covered a lot today. We talked about why these groundwater monitoring technicians are so important, what you need to know to do the job, how you can move up, even how AI is changing the job hunt.
It's been great diving into all this.
It really has. But before we go, one last question for everyone listening. We talked about the future, but what do you think? What big changes are coming to groundwater monitoring in the next, say, 10 years? Head over to our social media. Let us know. Use the hashtag #DeepDiveFutureOfWater. We want to hear your ideas. And a huge thank you to you, our expert, for all your insights today.
Happy to do it.
And to you, listener, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious and keep those aquifers clean.